Shalom, and welcome back to B'nai Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and of course, to share this wonderful information with friends and family. So in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 11, it describes there how the Egyptians were masterfully employing their plan in order to break the morale of the Hebrews, the Jewish people. And it describes what they made them do. They enslaved them, and they gave them backbreaking labor, and they built, it says, quote, they built garrison cities for Pharaoh. Which cities? Pithom and Ramses. Pithom and Ramses. Now, the Torah never tells us any superfluous information. Why is it important for us to have a geographic location to know exactly which cities they built? Why wasn't it sufficient for us to be told that they gave them backbreaking labor and they make them work very, very hard? And what is the lesson for us? You see, because remember, the Torah is not just a storybook. It's not a history book. Rather, it gives us lessons in life. From every detail that's shared with us in the narrative, we get to learn a lesson of how to live our lives. Well, the sages of the Talmud give us some insight into this. And they tell us that these two locations, these two cities, which the Jews, the Hebrews, were forced to build up, were in fact very, very difficult terrain. In fact, it was terrain that was not suitable for the types of buildings that they were building there. So they were forced to build these giant edifices, these big structures, enormous infrastructure, which all within time, within short time, all collapsed. And the people, that is the Hebrews, who were forced to engage in this backbreaking labor, were now at an extra level of suffering, seeing that all they've worked for was for naught. And this is a very, very important lesson. You see, this, in fact, was perhaps the most difficult point, the most difficult effect of the master plan of the Egyptians, namely to break their morale, to totally and absolutely devastate them. You see, a human being has this need, has this inner desire to be productive, to do something, to accomplish something. Even when we're forced to work hard, but if you see the results, you see that something is being built, there's something productive coming out of it. That in itself gives the person a certain sense of pride, a certain sense of accomplishment, and that lessens the degree of the suffering. But here, they intentionally made them build something which had no future, something that had only one purpose, and that is to break them, to devastate them. And this is an important lesson for us. You know, that old adage that if you like what you do, if you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life. Perhaps you'll work, you'll be engaged in activity, you'll be engaged sometimes in what would otherwise be considered hard work. But the fact that you're productive, the fact that you're making something, the fact that you're doing something you like and you're being and feeling accomplished, that makes it, that results in the fact that you don't feel bad, you don't feel tired, you don't feel like you've just worked for nothing. And this perhaps is also one of the meanings of what it says in the book of Genesis, that we were created in the image of God. God builds, God made a productive world, and we have that inner need to do the same. So always look for something that brings meaning, that brings accomplishment, that brings productivity to the world, and then you will never feel bad a day in your life.